This is Adele Jones reporting for August 2017. This month has been probably one of the most important months of the project. We received notification that the non-entry team has been granted funding from Research Councils UK and the British government to the tune of around £4.5 million. And this is to expand our work to China, to Jamaica, to Pakistan, to Uganda, and to the UK. So what this means is that we have established new partnerships in each of those countries, and as of October the 1st this year, we shall be establishing the Non-in-3 Research Centre at the University of Huddersfield to undertake pro-social game development for changing attitudes related to gender-based violence in each of those countries. Now, what does this mean for the current Non-in-3 project? Well, both projects will run side by side until the EU-funded project in the Caribbean comes to an end at the end of February in 2018. The other thing is that we will try to keep some continuity going. We've learned a lot from the Caribbean project, and we'll keep continuity going by engaging some of the experts on our current Non-in-3 project with the global project. This is absolutely huge news, and of course it comes at the end of a lot of work, and I think I have been alluding to the fact that I've been working on legacy and sustainability work for some time, and this really has all come to fruition. So I think we are all delighted at this news and look forward to some new challenges and expanding the Non-in-3 project. But I must put it on record that I have to thank my wonderful team of colleagues in the Caribbean for making this possible. This really is due to the exemplary work that has been produced thus far. The other things to report for this month is that the psychosocial survey results have been published in the form of a report which has been presented to the governments of Barbados and Grenada, to the respective ministries of education. We have a marketing and dissemination plan, and probably from September, October time, we shall begin disseminating this work across the region. We are currently in preparation for the trial of the computer game, which is in its final stages of completion, and we anticipate trialing the game in the middle of September, and this will give us 2 to 3 months to complete the data analysis to determine how effective the game has been in changing young people's attitudes. The country leaders for Grenada and Barbados, Dr. Hazel Dabrio and Dr. Ina Trotman-Jennett, have completed SWOT analyses to determine what challenges we may come across in trialing the game, and this has produced an action plan which we will work to make sure that we can implement the trial in as robust a scientific way as is possible. Alongside the trialing of the game, we will be releasing our children's web space, which provides the backstory to our computer game. For those of you who've been following game development, our computer game is called Jessie, and Jessie can be played as a boy or a girl, but we have it set as a boy, a 10-year-old child who's experiencing violence in the home that he shares with his mum, his stepdad, and his pet dog. So the children's web space will provide the backstory to the computer game, as well as information for children and for teachers around domestic violence. The other important thing I think to mention is something very exciting that happened this month. We have established a new partnership with the Barbados National Union of Public Workers, and that partnership led to a joint symposium and training event which was held actually earlier this month. Very, very well received, and very excited about that because it has meant that we've been able to share our research findings and to discuss and develop skills and knowledge around preventing domestic violence among a range of different workers, general workers, professional workers, workers who are in low-skilled jobs. A full range of workers have engaged with our material, and our evaluation reports suggest that they feel much better equipped to be able to identify the signs of domestic violence as they impact the workplace and to be able to put in place some better supports. So August has got some really important things to be able to share with you, but it's also a time of vacation, and so several of my team are taking some leave, and I'm hoping to do the same myself. But I shall see everybody in September. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good morning from a very rainy and overcast Grenada. This is the August report. Very short, just to let you know that we have had a regional meeting last week. We had postponed it all summer long due to members traveling with their families and so on, but we finally met, just a very small group. But the overall statement coming out of it is that the work that's been done so far by the whole None in Three team has been tremendous, and we look forward with optimism to the trainings that will be finishing up at the end of the month in just a few days, and to the surveys that will be conducted with children in schools in respect of the games that will now be ready to be played and tested out that way, given a road run. And then we'll be finishing the writing on the process, the entire process, and getting ready for the end of conference, the end of project conference at SGU in January. We don't have confirmation for those dates yet, but really pressing to get them done actually by the end of today. That's my report. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Ina Trotman Jamet, and I'm very pleased to share with you this month's report for the None in Three research in Barbados for the month of August 2017. Since my last report for July, I have been engaged with more training. The first of this training was a 5-day workshop which was held in Barbados in collaboration with the UN Women Caribbean Area Office Agency. There were 21 participants who participated in the workshop, representing a range of agencies. These agencies included various government agencies such as the Ministry of Health, Social Care and Social Empowerment, the Social Welfare Department, the Child Care Board, Ministry of Housing and Lands, and the police. NGOs also participated, for example, I Am a Girl Barbados, Life in Leggings, the National Organization of Women, the Business and Professional Women's Club of Barbados, the church, staff unions, and representatives also from the Barbados Association of Professional Social Workers. Among the testimonies and value attributed to this training in Barbados are not only the range of participants who attended, but also the fact that there were self-employed people who gave up their employment for the duration of the workshop to come and participate. Equally, the partnership with the UN Women Caribbean Area Office is another testimony to the collaboration that takes place in Barbados among agencies in the fight against domestic violence. So let's now look at some of the topics covered during the 5-day training here in Barbados. Of course, there was a presentation on the None and Three findings. We also looked critically at some beliefs and myths about domestic violence victims. We looked at learning styles and the interconnection between traumatic experiences and learning, emotional intelligence and empathy, ethics and duty of care in domestic violence, setting group and personal boundaries, different forms of violence. We also watched the film and critiqued and incorporated it into our forms of violence analysis. The film Murdered by My Boyfriend. We also looked at multiple and intersecting forms of violence, indicators, and their effects. The list also consisted of us identifying signs of control, domination, and victims' compliance, which is all part of the power and control that we thoroughly explored in domestic violence training. We looked at the creation of safety plans for victims, also working with women in especially vulnerable circumstances. And of course, we discuss in quite some detail organizational and interagency practice in the fight against domestic violence. We further looked at working with men and youth in the fight against domestic violence, and we presented the findings from our qualitative research as well. And it goes without saying that in training such as this, we spent quite a lot of time on self-care exercises and reflections. Empathic interviewing, including the interviewing of perpetrators, was also part of this. And what can we do in the fight? We looked at actionable approaches, identifying new opportunities for engaging men and youth in anti-violence work. And of course, there was the evaluation and termination and the award of certificates. So this training was delivered by myself and 3 co-facilitators, Gabrielle Henderson, Sharon Rose Gittins, and Barbara Daniel, all of whom would have attended the 4-day training of trainers workshop in June of 2017. The other training which took place during this month was held on the 11th of August, a week or so ago, and this was with the National Union of Public Workers, NUPW, here in Barbados. This was a 1-day symposium held at the union headquarters with a good attendance, mostly women, but there were also some men who benefited from this training. Unlike the previous training in June and July of this year, participants were fully engaged in discussion, in sharing experiences, and in their aspirations for the future in the fight against domestic violence here in Barbados and the wider Caribbean. This NUPW training was delivered by Professor Adele Jones and myself. So that's all from me for this month of August. Until next time, goodbye.
Hi, this is the media report for the month of August 2017. We have a new marketing plan in place, and the media team will be meeting in the upcoming week to explore new ways to enhance our social media footprint. The 93 Symposium and Training Workshop, to be held in partnership with the Barbados NUPW, will be held at their headquarters on Friday the 11th of August 2017, and this will be a full-day event. We have made connection with one of the executives of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Public Service Union. They have become 93 representatives as well. Since the last update, we have been promoting the NA3 domestic violence training and have been getting a tremendous response from this. Instagram and Twitter both gained a 20% increase respectively over the past few months, with Facebook NA3 training promotions gaining an additional 933 followers in the month of July. And that is it for the media report. Thank you.